Let's make a birth month bouquet here on My Sketchy Habit. Hello, my name's Patrick, I'm an artist, and this is My Sketchy Habit, where we draw every day, and we don't have to be ashamed. That's right, we are an art-positive community, and I like having fun with art. Today, we're going to be working on a special, one-of-a-kind gift that you can make for someone in your family. We're going to be making a birth month bouquet, where each of the flowers represent someone in the family, their birth month, and it's a beautiful, wonderful, artistic way of expressing that. I'm going to show you how that's done, but if you're not the drawing sort and you're not sure you could do that, I'm also opening up commissions for projects like this and others over on my website for this Christmas. Get your orders in soon, so there's time for them to get made and then printed for you. Check the link out down below, artbysutherland.com. But for now, let's get to the art. Let me show you how to make a family bouquet, birth month bouquet for your family here on My Sketchy Habit. So we are working on a 4-month bouquet for this particular one. We're starting with a daffodil, which represents March. And so what we're doing first is we're just sketching in these flowers. We're trying to get a sense of them, their scale, their positioning. We've got a rose coming in next. I'm using reference images to help me get these images together. I'm not copying one-to-one. I'm looking at what these flowers look like and trying to come up with some level of presentation for them. This one's particularly unique. It was before I made the commissions on my website, so I made this for people I know as a unique one-off. The ones on the website are a little different than these, but they're still pretty darn good. But this is a great way of showing you how you can do this. I think I'm also going to start working on layers in this one shortly, so we'll work on each flower one at a time. But for now, we're building those layers on top of each other to get a sense of how things fit. We're moving on to Aster, which is something for the month of September. Rose was the month of June, by the way. And an Aster is a very long, petaled flower with a really beautiful yellow, almost like a daisy, but it's a little bit different. And we're just building in these various and sundry shapes, and we're getting all these stems to line up together so that we can sort of bind them in the aftermath. Yeah, you don't have to draw perfect flowers for this to work. I'm going to choose for these ones to do a very painterly style, and so I'm drawing these sketches very loosely to start. Our last flower is a water lily for the month of July. These are chosen and ordered in such a way that they would look nice together, and the nice thing about sketching and then putting them together is that we have a chance to choose our colors and to build things together and really make them work. It's game time, and that's the part where we play a little game. We're playing Pokemon silhouettes, and today the silhouette is of that sleepy boy, Snorlax. What does the silhouette of Snorlax become? I cannot wait for you to find out. So we've got our basic sketches, and now it's time for us to start building out our line art for these wonderful flowers. Now, for each flower, I'm trying to get detail of the petals and the various parts and trying to create some level of shadow through line art. This means we're doing a lot of hashing and other things, and we're using our loose sketches to help build our defining features of our flowers. You can see I'm not following them exactly the way they're drawn, but I'm testing out some ideas to try to build in something that works for the flower. I want this to be a very unique expression of these flowers and a unique expression of this group of people. And so, yeah, I'm working hard to get those shadow lines in there, building in shadows in the depths of the flower and trying to build out the various and sundry little details that make the flower work. And of course, we got to get our stem in here, and it's a nice and easy little shape. With the first flower done, it's time to move to some layers, I think, and so we're going to start working on our rose. Now, a rose is a pretty easy thing to make. When you're thinking about a rose, you want to think that there's these internal circle of petals that makes up the rose, right, that are opening up the further out you get. And so you can see here, I'm not drawing those petals in great detail, but I am allowing the shapes that creates to define this flower. I will go through and, again, use hashing to try to give some detail and some shaping to those shapes. But again, we're trying to keep things relatively straightforward, not adding more detail than necessary, but enough to create shadow and depth and all those things. And it's a very detailed process. As you can probably see, I'm taking a lot of little steps here, undoing them, trying again. And yeah, sometimes that's just the way it has to be, right? You have to work slowly but surely to create something that is going to work for you. Yeah, once I've got these details in here, I go about adding in the stem. You know, it's important to look up the different stems for each flower to try to get them right. And then we position it and move on to our next flower. And we're going to repeat this process over and over again until all of our flowers have come together. It's a bit of a detailed process, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit here, do a little time lapse for these last two, and then we'll hit you up with the dad joke, bad joke. We'll be right back. It's time for the dad joke, bad joke. My dad sends me a joke every single day in WhatsApp, and I like to click them all up so I can give them back to you. And today we have this lovely joke. What do you call a bear with no teeth? What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Bouncing here and there and everywhere. What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Yeah, that's about right. The dad joke, bad joke. Let's get back to the art. We're about to get some color here on our flowers. Now for this one, I'm breaking my normal approach to doing things. You see a lot of it here on this channel where I create another layer underneath and do a lot of filling of colors. This one, I want to go a little painterly. So I'm using base colors, and then I'm building on top of them with shadows and highlights to try to create something more organic. This really works for flowers because, you know, flowers are so complicated and beautiful. It's the reason why people paint them, and they're these elaborate, beautifully wonderful things. And so yeah, we're just trying to do that with our colors here. We're also thinking a little bit about composition, like what color of red to put beside that yellow with some variance for tone and shade, and, you know, really doing our best to make something that looks good on the canvas together. Now these bouquets I decided to keep very simple when I first did them. The ones on the website, you can get extra flowers put in, like some nice greenery to fill it out and to really make it a more full bouquet. These ones were really about having simple flowers bound together by some rope, which we'll draw and color at the very end. For now, we're just going through and trying to fill in these base colors and create these shadow points to really emphasize the shapes that we originally created using our line art and our hashing. I think it works really well for these flowers. It really brings out some of that detail that I don't always get in my work when I'm doing the faster fill methods. I think they all have their own place, right? Different kinds of expression create different kind of results, and this result is super useful for this particular image, and I like how it turns out a lot. It allows me to do a lot in big strokes and then work on little bits with an airbrush tool just to get something a little bit more painterly. We of course have the next issue, which is going to be adding in the various and sundry greens. For these particular flowers, we're going to get a few different shades of green just for variance. Some of them have a very bright green. Roses typically have a very dark green, and that variance is going to look nice on the paper as well. Again, we don't have to be 100% authentic with every detail of it, but we want the piece as a whole to feel authentic when we put it all together. And so yeah, we can nudge some of those tones a little brighter and a little darker, try to make something that lines up with our ultimate end goal. And it makes something quite beautiful. You can see here, I'm just testing out my various sundry layers. I realize that I'm gonna have some problems when it comes to how these bits of individual flowers are on their own layers, right, the line art, and where they're going to overlap with each other. And so I'm realizing that and undoing a bunch of things here while I try to build in these colors. You'll notice that I'm sort of spilling over my colors because I'm going to come back with an eraser to get the detail. It's an easier way when using a painterly kind of brush to kind of get that detail, because otherwise you're trying to make a hard edge with a very loose brush, and that's not quite so easy to do. We're going to go through and highlight these various shadows, and I'm going to add in a wonderful highlight these shadows. We're going to add wonderful highlights and really make the stems look like they're overlapping with some shadows. And we're going to add a wonderful purple little ribbon to tie it all together. When I finished this project, I added names and the birth month and the flower just to really help people understand what it is, sort of underneath each of them. And that's an option you can do if you decide to buy it as a commission on my website. You can see here we're getting this little ribbon on here just to tie it all together. I think it looks great. Let's check out the final reveal. And that is it for our wonderful family bouquet made of birth month flowers. It's a really fun way to make something that's beautiful and unique that expresses your family. I hope you give it a try. If you want something like this, but you don't want to make it yourself, I do have a commission section open on my website. I opened it just this week, all for projects like this. If you're interested in getting one, you can commission me to do it. It's not super expensive. It's a wonderful gift for your family, super unique, one-of-a-kind gift that will really express something of the love and unity you have, and I cannot wait to be able to share that with you. Artbysutherland.com, check it out and see if you are interested in some of those commission projects. For now, let's talk about your projects. We have an art gallery where I love to share your art. We didn't have anything for today, but we have a Discord where we collect all the art from folks. It's called the Doodle Croodle, so come join the Doodle Croodle and show us what you can doodle do. The link is down below. We would love to see you there. We're an art positive community. We also have a month-long sheet of inspirations. This month we're doing video games, and yesterday it was game over. And as you can see, my poor redheaded jump man. Game over, man. That's what I was inspired to do. What will you be inspired to do with the word for today? The word is cart. What does cart inspire you towards? Maybe Mario Kart, maybe something else. Who knows? We're just trying to get the juices flowing and make every day. I cannot wait to see what you come up with. For now, we've arrived at the end of this video and the end of this week, which means it's time for us to think to the future. What's coming up next week? Next week, we'll be doing cute characters turned into creepy monsters. I have a whole bunch that I did, and every day next week, I'll be showing you one of them. I cannot wait to show you. They turned out really fun and weird and interesting, and I cannot wait. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And yeah, that's the end of today's video, except for the one rule we always talk about at the end of the video, which is this. Don't tell anyone about our sketchy habit. That's between you and me. Till next time, keep being awesome. Bye!